as disgraceful as those two are, it probably isn't as disgraceful as number three. Number three, smokeless tobacco. When I arrived at the scene in Harrisburg, I was handed by Governor Schweiker a budget that was $2.4 billion in deficit. I had 5 weeks to prepare my budget. You know, welcome to Harrisburg. Here it was. And of course, we had to raise taxes, and we did. And I looked at everything that was on the table. And I found out I was stunned to find out that Pennsylvania was the only one of the 50 states not to tax cigars and smokeless tobacco. I couldn't believe it. And I started asking some of the veterans around Harrisburg, some in my administration and some in the legislature, how could this be? First of all, I said, you got to be kidding me. North Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, they don't tax, they tax smokeless tobacco and snuff and cigars? Absolutely, they do. Well, why don't we? The best answer I could come up with is one of the leaders of the legislature was a cigar smoker, and one of the other leaders had a cigar factory in his district. It's been 6 years, and each year I've tried to get them to tax smokeless tobacco. It would produce about $65 million a year. Well, this year we had a tiny little victory. They taxed cigarillos. Anybody here know what cigarillos are? You have to be old to know what cigarillos are. Yeah, little tiny ones. So, the cigarillo company must have dropped their lobbyists, because we did that, and we actually gained about 20 million. But we've left about 50 still on the table. Why? Well, if you trace it back, one of the leaders, and I'm not going to name names now, and you can find this out, has one of those companies in his district. And if you check campaign finance reports, that company contributes heavily to the leader and to the leader's caucus political committee. Now, what's even stunning is one of the co-owners of the Phillies, actually a friend of mine by the name of John Middleton, he had a cigar company which he sold to Altria last year for $2.5 billion. I took the clip out of the Inquirer and I sent it around to every legislator, and I said, just wanted you to read this. I think we can afford to tax these guys. $2.5 billion he sold it for. So, I've told you three things, just three tiny little things, where we've left almost $200 million off the table. And that $200 million would add up in the next 2 years, if we'd done it this year, to $400 million, which would give us a tiny bit of a cushion going into the horrible year 3 and year 4. But we didn't do it.